Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
I'm also your host, not Derek.
You're Dom.
I'm Dominic.
We are currently on episode 150. So that's kind of a huge milestone for us. Go us. We have a very special guest today. We have Sean with Hatch Golf. Make sure to give them a follow on Instagram. Their user handle is at Hatch Golf Co. That's HATCHGOLFCO.
All one word.
Sean, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Thanks for being guest number, well, I don't say guest 150, but episode 150.
Do you remember at episode 100, I'm like, hey, at 200, I'm going to do like a big collage. Yeah. I have not started.
I'm holding you to it.
Fuck.
So you are a man of, you're very talented at what you do. You've created a company, Hatch Golf. Can you just what inspired you to start Hatch Golf and how did you choose the name?
Oh, wow. What inspired me? I come from a design background. And so I spent years, designing and kind of creating digital designs for everybody, whether it was logos, branding, identity work, things like that. And it was always in this cloud, you know what I mean? There was nothing ever physically held in my hand. I'm like, I need something that I can hold and something I can make, something I can actually physically see with my eyes. And I love golf. Naturally, I was like, I'm just going to figure out a way to pair the two together. And so I started just kind of tinkering and designing head covers and different accessories to try to get started. And this was kind of way before Hatch started. This was technically my old company called Blue Birdie. And then that's kind of where I started. Was I outsourced all my designs, sent it off to a company, and then waited forever to get my product back. And so after about 2 or 3 years of that, I decided to take it in-house and do it all myself. Kind of just took the plunge, if you will.
And that's going to be a big transition for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I had no experience in manufacturing. I had no experience in, fabrics and magnets and construct, all the different things that you need to make a cover. And, it doesn't seem that complicated, but there's a lot that kind of goes into the construction to make it look good and things like that. So we just ended up buying all the equipment and and learning as we went. So, there's a whole process there that I can kind of get into, but the name Hatch, essentially, Blue Birdie was my original name. There's a story behind that, but the tagline for Hatch the tagline for Blue Birdie was freshly hatched golf goods. And so I didn't like the name Blue Birdie. It was too long and there's 800 companies in the golf space with the name Birdie in it. So I was like, all right, I just need something really simple. And so I was like, I'm going to create new stuff every week. I'm going to hatch new ideas and things like that. So that's kind of how that name evolved from there. But
that's really cool. I love that. So how long have you been officially Hatch Golf then?
So just a little bit over 3 years.
Okay.
We started in May of 21. So right after kind of the COVID phase. Sure. And, that's kind of when golf blew up as well a little bit. So, yeah.
So I love the logo. Can you tell us how you came up with that?
So the logo was, we have a number of different logos that we kind of use. Being that is my space, I probably went a little bit overboard. I bet you if you saw my artboard, it's probably 50 to 100 different types of logos. But the original, egg with the lightning bolt was kind of like the start. I just wanted something that was an egg, obviously, and then something that was not just like a normal crack. And so I like the idea of a lightning bolt in there and kind of found a way to make it all work. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you kind of talked about what inspired, but was there a specific moment when you realized I want to create products in the golf space?
Well, the original concept behind Blue Birdie was, I think a lot of times I met a lot of players that, hey guys, sorry, I don't know if you can, babe, what are you doing? Can you grab her and bring her out? Sorry, I thought she'd be asleep. I apologize. I was going to be in my
office. It's okay. No worries.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, totally
So
fine. We've had my dog come in she barked on the last one like multiple times, so totally cool.
okay. Awesome. All right. Sorry. So I can't remember where we were.
We were just talking about like when was like the specific moment you realized that you wanted to create products in the golf space.
Gotcha. Yeah. So when I started Blue Birdie, it was kind of actually a way for me to bring my wife onto the course with me. I didn't have a kid at the time, and um, a lot of people do initials on a ball or just little things like they like to put their dog on a head cover. Just a way to kind of bring that family or touch home with you or onto the golf course. And so I used to put a Blue Jay on my ball mark or my ball as a ball marker. And then it was just a way to bring my wife out with me. And then that kind of evolved from there. And I'm like, oh, I could kind of do some other things with it. And uh, I look at it like now it was more of a, it was also like a tax shelter. I was like, well, I can also do some stuff with taxes and I could go out on the golf course and write some things off. But
Right.
yeah. I mean, it was really struggle though at the beginning because again, if we're going back to like me wanting to create products, I sent off my designs to the company and it was either 12 weeks or it could be 16 weeks. It could be even longer than that before I got my product. And that was really challenging to build a business around that. And so finally, after a lot of this back and forth for I think it was about 2 or 3 years, I was just like, I'm just going to do it myself. I didn't know how, but I knew that I would eventually get there.
Sure. That's really impressive. Did you like, as far as from when you had the Blue Birdie golf into Hatch golf, like in between talking about all the lead times, did you all right, I need to like go on YouTube or I need to figure out the sewing? Like I'm never so, I mean, it's kind of mind boggling the fact that you create these very limited drops and they sell out, rather quickly. And
It
you're
feels
telling me you've never even really had any like background in sewing or stitching.
it feels very similar. Do you know who Van from Van Nylon is?
Yeah, no, I think I've seen his stuff. He makes shoes, or
He does like head covers made out of just like whatever. So like we could send him like this hoodie and he would sew. And we had him on a while ago and he was talking to us and I'm like, so you just sit in I think he sits in like his office or whatever and just sews all this stuff. He's like, yeah. And it's the best. And I'm like, hell yeah.
So cool.
And I'm like, that from what I've learned from doing this for the last few years, the most creative people are the ones who go, I can do this better and I can do it faster.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we can do it faster than some of these other companies. I don't, I've seen some counts and some quantities that people put out and I'm like, I don't know if they got machines in the shop that I don't have. Again, like, if you come to the shop, our shop versus someone like that does what we do, it might look completely different because I don't know what I don't know. And, I've hired different seamstresses, different people, all with different backgrounds who've been able to help a little bit here and there and figure out different things. But yeah, it's, I think it's essentially, now I know who you're talking about, but there's a few people that do that upcycling and it's really neat because, they'll take like a North Face jacket or like a Patagonia or just anything, a jersey, a hockey jersey or
it's old starter jackets. The old 90s starter jackets are really
and
cool.
those are so cool because you can, you got the zipper already integrated. You can kind of flush it out however you want. But yeah, I guess if you have a template for it and you know how they're constructed, everything's done kind of inside out and flipped a few times, then you can make anything, I guess once we learn it. I feel like if someone were to bring me a pattern for like, let's say a hoodie, I could sew it, but I would still have to like learn, the process of doing it, if that makes sense. And that was one of the biggest struggles when we started I didn't know how to make a head cover. There's different flips and different things that you have to sew and connect. And again, like I had no clue. So we did a lot of trial and error, a lot of bad eggs, if you will.
I like that. Bad eggs. Don't. We need to have one of those sound bites.
No, we don't.
In the background.
Listen, there are things I want before we get a soundboard.
How long do you think your first cover that you made, like personally? How long do you think it took you from like start to finish?
Oh God.
And were you more than like, because obviously like where you're at now to like where you started, you're probably like leaps and bounds of, like where you started, but like, were you really impressed with the final product off your first cover that you created?
Well, okay. So we're talking my first, or we're talking
your first that you actually made.
So the first cover I ever made was and I have it. It's at my shop. It's a Dark Side Kessel Run, which was like kind of like what we launched with. Um, I don't remember how long it took me because again, we were still like flushing out the I don't know, the process.
Sure.
To make it like a kind of a backtrack a little bit, the person that I hired thought that she knew how to make a head cover. And it took her about, I think it was about 4 or 5 days, and she made about 12 of them. And I thought, like, that was full 8-hour days. I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to make money. I'm going to lose money hand over fist.
Yeah, I would be shutting down shop before we even started.
Like, and, I'm not touching the sewing machines at this point because I had no idea. I didn't know how to sew. I would watch her and I'd be like, whoa, and kind of like she was really fast. But again, her process was way off. So we kind of tweaked a little bit. I can't remember his name right now. I'm drawing a blank, but Thistle Leather Goods on Instagram is kind of the guy who helped me tinker with the process, and he helped tremendously. So shout out to him. And, but yeah, getting back to the original question, it probably then, it took me 20, 30 minutes to make a cover. I don't know. That's after it's embroidered. So, now it probably takes me 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay. That seems pretty quick.
It takes like 5 to 7
really
years.
Quick.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like where we were, but again, like that's me going kind of full steam and like I'm going to cut any corners. But the main part of head covers is the embroidery. Kind of what we talked about earlier is like if it's just printed on and it's just like pleather, and we use full leather as well. But I mean, like there's just different levels and grades of like faux leather and pleather that you can get out there that's just like super cheap. And then obviously printing on it is instantly quicker because if we do 100,000 stitch file, it's going to take 2 or 3 hours just to run that one file.
So most of all your covers are pretty limited for the most part, and they do sell out pretty quickly, like I mentioned earlier. How many do you typically make in a certain collaboration?
I've been trying to get some of these things for fucking years.
They sell pretty quick.
I know. To have. It's a great problem to have, but boy, I get frustrated.
I'm sure you probably get a lot of people those the warrior, like, what do you call them, the keyboard warriors, or just like
they're on IG
because they sell it so fast.
I get comments for sure. I am a people pleaser by nature, so it's hard for me to see people that are disappointed when I launch a product and they can't get it. Obviously, I would love for everybody to have everything we make. I mean, it'd be awesome. Right. It's a balance for sure, because I think a lot of it, that's not actually how I wanted to start the business. That wasn't even like the original business idea. I was thinking not like I'd have stuff in stock all the time, but my background is design. So I just love just making new stuff all the time. So like if and we get projects where we have to make, I don't know, 100, 200, like right now we have a project of 600 covers for a company and we do wholesale. This is kind of separate, but we'll do 600 of the same cover. I don't know why, but it's annoying to put it bluntly. Like I'm like,
does it just get like mundane where you're like, they're all like, you're just like, this sucks.
Well, it's so repetitive.
Yeah.
And, but if you think about the scale of that, I mean, think about how many golfers in America, and I don't know the stat on that, or just even worldwide. Now we ship all over the country. We ship all over the world. We have people that buy our stuff in every different country. And so when you think about on a typical run, we probably do under 50 for 90% of our launches. So, if we're talking blades, mallets, now that's split up. I'm just saying, if you're spreading it across the board, we don't typically make more than 50 of anything. Maybe a handful of releases since we started. And I think that reason is just because I like to do a launch and then another launch, or even launch like on a specific weekend, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 things.
Sure.
And the only way to do that is to make more limited stuff. But I think that's also another thing when you come back to like Hatch is you got people that collect like the Lightning logo stuff. You got people that like to collect the alter ego. You got people that like to collect Molly or the different characters. So there's always I always try to hit those different facets of people who like to collect different things or if that makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you find it, we asked Mark from Kraken the same thing. Do you find it kind of flattering when you see like your stuff being like resold or like on Facebook, you're like, I want to trade this for this because like you said, they're collecting the alter ego, they're collecting this or they're collecting that. Do you get flattered or do you go like, they're not using it? Because I could see it being both ways where it's like you took the time, you made it, somebody paid for it, you're like, you're not even going to use it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, that's pretty cool because like they're collecting what you spend your whole day making.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be, I wouldn't say annoyed, but I think people who bought just to flip was kind of frustrating because you wanted to get in the hands of people who are actually going to either use it or keep it. I think there's a difference there because you got plenty of people who like to put it on a wall and just display it because it's, they find it valuable. And that's awesome to me. Even if they don't use it on the course, I mean, that's still cool. And people are, anytime I tell people what we do, they're kind of shocked because they're like, there's a business in that, and I'm like, well, it's not like we're selling a utility, but it's more like art collecting almost in a way because we're just making stuff that either I designed or I have illustrators now that work with me and I art direct or different things like that. And I'm able to kind of come up with all these fun concepts for people, either whether it's like nostalgic or pop culture or, even just Hatch specific. But I don't these days, I don't get frustrated. And you'll actually, if you talk to most people who are in Hatch, I try to stay as far away as I can from any type of like secondary market type stuff. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear about it. Because usually the only thing it does is it feels like it influences me on what to make specifically.
Sure. There, like you'd mentioned too, there's kind of like a difference where like with like Rolexes or like Swag Golf is one, for example.
That's what I was thinking of. Like Raul, I was very lucky to play golf with Raul from Los Golferos. He and I were talking. I'm like, dude, like everything you have is swag. He's like, yeah, bro, I like collect it. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I've got stuff at my work office. I've got stuff at my home office. He's got this, and this. Cause he saw mine. I have a TPC Twin Cities specific swag head cover. And I'm like, yeah, is yours kind of a pain in the ass to put in? He's like, yeah, it never goes away either. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And he's like, yeah, I just collect them, but he's like, I love to use them. This. He's like, he's a big Dodgers fan because they're from LA. He's like, I got my Dodgers once. I'm like, that, once you view it as like an art piece, I feel like that kind of helps it.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, God, like I'd be super upset. I'd be like, man, somebody bought it and now they're flipping it. Because in my mind, that's one less person who wanted it to be able to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have plenty of customers who buy secondary and, if I look at it from like a bigger scheme, I'm like, that's kind of like less money and technically like our pockets if it takes away from like a future release. But I don't know. It's tough. I mean, again, there's been lots of complaining about bot protection and things, on the site because specific releases hit different people, who want what. And so sometimes things like if we make a very limited amount, maybe single digits, sometimes, it doesn't even like load to the site before it's already sold out, but
sure. I was really upset actually. This is not anything you did wrong, not even Hatch related. Jamie from CMD had little ghost mummies and he had like limited out of 10, 15 and 20 and the 10 was purple. Purple's my favorite color. I'm like, cool, it drops at 3 p.m. I'm like, it's probably like 1 p.m. here. Perfect. Not a care in the world. I'm like, I'm gonna get this damn purple mummy because I don't like collect his stuff. Like I think I have 3 of his ghost markers and then 1 of his tools. I'm like, I'm gonna get this damn mummy. I'm gonna add it to my little collection of little ghost figures. Forgot. And I looked the other. I'm like, sold out. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. Oh, and that was going to come transition to like, I'm sure you get a lot of people that are like you said, it's a good problem to have to sell out on these limited runs. That means you're obviously, your work speaks, for itself. But I'd imagine that's got to be probably one of the more annoying things about running the business, right? Is controlling the bots and all that other stuff. Because there are people there that are, whether they have a bot set up because they really want the product or whether they're trying to resell it. Yeah. Has that been a big issue for you?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it mostly on like any type of like either genuine leather exotic type stuff or just even faux exotic releases. We see typically those are more limited anyways. Yeah. But the only time we know like specifically on our end, like because if we're looking at Shopify, if everything sells out in 20 seconds, let's just say, there's no way that you could hit multiple checkouts, right? So the only way we know right off the bat that someone had used a bot is if they got like 3 or 4 things on a launch or a drop. Like, so like they bought, because technically you're able to buy a mallet, a driver, a wood. Even if it's all separate, we know you definitely used a bot because all that usually sells out in, less time than it would take to check out. I know each of those separately, if that makes sense. And so we'll typically cancel those, or we've had instances where people bought multiple. I've heard other companies like cancel the entire order and you don't get anything, but I can't seem to do that. So I'll just obviously refund anything they buy extra because it might be a mistake. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, I genuinely try to take care of every single customer. If you have a magnet issue, if you have something that, you dropped on the golf cart and it ripped or something, I literally will do anything I can to try to make my customers happy. Sometimes at my own detriment, but
yeah, I mean, you're in the space to try to like create a really cool product and you want people to be able to use it and enjoy it, right? You're not there that's kind of your whole purpose behind it. I would assume.
I was that same way with logo design. So like, my contract would always say like 3 revisions, but I'd probably do 12 if they needed it. So I mean, at the end of the day, word of mouth, customer referrals, that type of thing is still one of the number one ways to grow your business. And obviously Facebook and social media only amplifies that if people have negative experiences. But
do you have any like memorable like custom requests that you've done in the past like stick out or stand out?
Custom requests, I mean, we've had a lot of custom requests. I don't know if I have like a favorite set that's come along, but maybe I do. I don't know. There's been a few. I should take pictures. That's the problem. It's like they go out. We did make a really cool. It was like black, gold, it was like gold, black, and Tiffany colored, which was really neat for a guy in Colorado. But we've done a lot of cool ones where people do the personal touches and they'll add like someone either that passed away or, maybe their whole family or like initials, different things like that integrated into it. But if you're talking like customs, like a wholesale program,
just any.
We should do podcasts.
I was gonna say like wholesale or just like because that was gonna be. I should ask that first, but I'm like, do you take like a one-of-one like custom request from just an individual, or most of your custom requests as like you have
like
to order a bulk or something?
Yeah, like a minimum.
Yeah, we don't have minimums. We are pretty nimble in that sense. Maybe like it does probably keep me busier in my own like personal time because I get a lot of requests like, hey, can you do an alter ego riding on a horse in the desert or whatever? Like, it could be the most crazy thing you can think of. And I'm like, well, I have to design that. So it's going to be a little bit more of a process versus someone that's saying, I want a Kessel Run in neon colors, which we probably won't release. So there's like this balance of like, hey, we're not going to handcuff ourselves to that something that we could launch in the future as a release. But there's also like, since we won't do that, then we can probably fit you in before some other requests. Sometimes it's specific materials or just different design requests. But I mean, we got people that email us all the time for one-offs. And I have no problem doing them. We have a single head machine, we have a double head machine. So like if you're looking to do a really small run, we can typically do that. And it's more expensive.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, we got plenty of people that have, one-offs. And then we do our event, which is basically one-offs anyway. So
yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. I had that on my questionnaire here, on my form here of your events, because it looked really cool. I was reading through all what comes with it. So let's definitely talk about that too. That's really cool. What is like let's say for example, we want to order podcast covers. Yeah.
There we go.
Mallet, blade, whatever it might be.
Just driver.
Or driver, yeah.
Because you need a new driver one.
I do, and I need a new actually wood one too as well. But
yeah, his cart or his bag fell off the cart.
Yeah, it was terrible. So I was taking a customer out for golf, and Bev cart comes out, and I was gonna grab them some snacks and something to drink, and so I grabbed the pocket where my wallet was right where the cart strap was. So I unstrapped, grabbed my wallet, paid, put my wallet back, and forgot to restrap in, and I ended up just slamming right. And of course it was on pavement. So my driver snapped. It was like the third hole. So my driver snapped, the shaft did, of course. And then it scuffed the crap out of the cover. Yeah, it was quite luckily I had a backup though, so we were okay. But so yeah, I definitely.
I've never heard of a driver snapping on a bag fall. That's crazy.
I've never had that happen before. I've never snapped a driver before either. But
it wasn't a hatch cover, was it?
No, it would. No, it would probably have been like totally fine. Like I said, it was kind of going back to like
the hatch cover would have saved it.
Yeah. It would have. Yeah, the hatch cover would have protected it.
I got you.
Part of the warranty.
Thanks for the guarantees.
Guaranteed to protect your driver. But so yeah, that was my. But anyway, going back to that, what is like the turnaround time for a few covers?
So it kind of goes back to what we talked about with stitch counts. I've had custom requests that are super simple, just a logo slapped on, like nothing else. We have enough machines where we can get 100 done in a day or more. But now that's just embroidered. Now, obviously making it maybe take a few more days, but sure. If you're, we've had like say Super Stroke, for example, was a client and we did one of their covers and it was close to 100,000 stitches. And so that took a very long time to run. And that's ultimately where all the time comes from, is just on the embroidery machines. So, sure. I mean, the actual construction of the product, once you nail that down, isn't very long. But sorry. So getting back to it, we've had customs range from $40 to, or like wholesale, whether the amounts differ, obviously, but $40 to $300 per cover. Okay. So it can vary quite a bit.
Sure.
If you're wanting like a single one-off cover, typically it starts at like $250. And that's, just because we're setting up everything, cutting everything once. One specific cover.
Okay, so we're not going to do podcast covers.
Why not?
I don't have $500.
Oh, I said 250. Didn't you say 250? Sorry,
yeah, 250 for one.
Oh,
so there's two.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've done ones that are 40s. Oh, I guess it depends.
Just depends on how you want to.
Listen, I am not a cheap man.
Dom will have you going, and it'll turn out to be like $5,600 for one cover.
I bought. Okay.
You'll keep the lights up for a few months.
Nothing about. Listen, if I'm gonna drop the money, it's gonna be like unbelievable.
He'll have when somebody asks you in your next podcast episode, like, what was the most memorable cover? Dom's going to come right to your mind.
It's going to be me, and you're going to be like, this was a fucking disaster, but it was perfect.
We'll just do a Dominic Toretto with your face on it, and like, you're driving off in the sunset in a golf cart or something.
See, the issue is I'm not a muscle car guy. I'm very much an import tuner guy. So it'd be like my face, like on the GTR.
Love that. GTR is my favorite car of all time.
That's better than any American muscle car.
Love it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's awesome.
I like you.
I grew up with the Honda Civics and the body kit and everything. So.
Oh, dude, I want a Supra so bad. So I crashed my car in March. I didn't crash it. I got hit. And it was this lowered Hyundai Elantra wagon. And now all I want is a Mercedes wagon. That's all I want. And that's I'm gonna fucking
get it. Spares no expense. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be a little Benzo
Mercedes with his hatch cover. He's gonna be set.
Be in bankruptcy.
Let's see. What I was gonna ask you. Oh yeah, I know. I was gonna ask. Do you have a preference on as far as like which cover like that you'd like to make, or which is easier versus like a fairway wood to a driver cover versus a blade or a mallet cover?
Oh, I don't have a preference necessarily. I typically in the shop now I sew just primarily the blade, and I like sewing mallets as well. But all the woods, drivers, hybrids, all that is sewn by my seamstress, and then I usually will deck or top stitch everything. But yeah, I mean, the only thing that's hard with the blade. Sorry, is that coming across the text noise? Because I can probably.
What's that?
I didn't know if my text noises were coming through.
Oh no, I can't hear it. I think we're good.
Mute it really quick. Blades are a little bit trickier. I think the only reason why is because the magnets. But other than that, I just love sewing.
They're all pretty
Doesn't
easy.
matter.
Do you? This might be a dumb question, but do you have an actual retail shop where somebody can go out and like take a look at what you like? Do you have like a storefront?
No.
I didn't think so because everything's limited, but I know some of the putter guys and other things that are starting to kind of move in that space where you kind of come take a look and see what it is. But do you ever think you'll ever kind of do anything like that, or?
I always thought it would be fun, and this is just my background. Like I just think in different ways it might be fun to involve people in the process. We've had shop days, people come in and see what we do product wise. Mm-hmm. A lot of kind of some of our top tier customers like to, if they're in Nashville or in the area, they'll stop by and say hi. We had a lot of that in Michigan. People guys that were regulars would just come and hang out. And then, there might be stuff that we have that's extra that they could possibly buy, but yeah, like nothing that you come in and be like, I want to buy that and that. But I always thought it'd be fun to have like set up the shop like a bakery where you could like, you come in, you have obviously your product display, maybe a cashier, just different type of checkout, maybe like more like a sneakerhead type place.
Yeah.
And but you can see in the back everybody kind of manufacturing in a way, almost like cool. Like a Kilwins. You can go see how the fudge is made, and people sew.
Instead of like a consignment store for shoes, it's all of his head covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we actually just bought a trailer and for mobile events where we go and do these events that we hold, and so everything will kind of be displayed in that. So the reveal will hopefully happen in our next event. But
well, if you want a road trip, we do have an event next year. Not here though. It's gonna be a big road trip for you.
Oh, Cali,
Pasadena.
Okay. Well, we're going to Vegas in February, but I don't know if we're going to drive the trailer there. I think we're going to ship it because 27 hours minimum in driving seems brutal, but
that's a lot.
I'd make you drive.
Yeah, I would prefer to drive.
Yeah, I know. I don't
mind driving. I just drive
like Dumb and Dumber style. Dumb would take us in the wrong path. I'd be sleeping and you'd trying to like.
No, you'd be sleeping and I'd sell your SUV for a little scooter.
60 miles a gallon. This hog.
And then I'd have 2 pairs of gloves on.
We're in the Rockies. Duh.
So Denver's full of shit.
What's next for Hatch Golf? Are there any product lines or collaborations that you're working on that you can talk about or would like to share with us?
I'm pretty sure I can because we didn't sign an NDA and they've been kind of open about it. But we are doing a really fun cover with Lap Golf, which I believe will come out in November, probably around later November. So that one will be fun. We just did some really cool stuff with Folds of Honor. Did some stuff with Fuji Cura recently. Coming down the pipeline, we are specifically focused on just getting through Halloween and Black Friday, which are kind of 2 of our bigger things. We have a lot of Halloween covers that kind of built off of the last few years that we're kind of like tying up sets. That's been kind of a big theme this year. Is it feels like we've been kind of like growing. We started off with a lot of blades and mallets when we first started, and now we're kind of like building those sets from woods and drivers and hybrids. And so that a lot of the artwork these days is kind of going into doing that, and then just kind of getting through Christmas with both eyes straight ahead. And but yeah, I mean, the biggest thing right now is we just launched our Vegas event. It's the first time we'll ever do an event outside of Michigan or Florida. So like every year we were doing one or the other there and one, back and forth. So we're trying a new time, a new area, new location. Kind of went with the sevens theme. So we're like, Vegas is 7, lucky number 7. So I think it'll be awesome. I'm excited for it. We've put a lot of time into planning on it already, and it's still 5 months away. But these things get big. So
So would this be considered a sunny side up and down event? Is that what it's going to be like? Would that be volume? Was it 7?
Yeah, so this will be number 7, and
you just said that, which makes sense. Lucky number 7 with the casino. Okay.
It's funny that last week we had Atomic Golf on, and they're in Vegas.
Yeah, Atomic Golf. You should check it out when you're there. Is it like kind of near the Strip? Are you staying like near the Strip?
Atomic Golf.
Golf.
It's attached to the Stratosphere.
It's pretty sick looking. You should check it out. It's pretty wild.
Are you talking about Joel Leopard? Or is this someone else? Am I thinking of something?
Atomic Golf. It's like
think of Top Golf, but better
on steroids.
and on steroids.
All right. Okay. Maybe I misheard you. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. It's attached to the Stratosphere. It's like 4 levels. It's pretty cool.
They have a ball cannon.
They have a ball cannon.
I'm still hooked on that damn cannon.
But it's they just opened in March. So if you're like in that area, they do a lot with like the all sorts. It's very cool there. They have an Instagram account too, so you can check them out. But if is it going to be near the Strip, or is it kind of like off the Strip?
We're like 20-25 minutes off.
Okay. Which
Angel
course?
Park. It's Cloud9 at Angel Park, which is like the night course. So we're gonna do like fly in, hang out.
If you would open his post, it says where the courses are.
Oh, nice. I just wanted to ask questions for all the listeners here. See, so this is why
I don't know how to pronounce the second one, so it's good that he's going to say it.
Paiute.
Paiute?
Oh, is that how it is? I would have figured it out.
I hope so. I guess
we're only hosting an event there.
Paiute? Who knows?
Well, I'm not hosting it.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about him. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about these sunny side up and down events. First, I like the name. It's very catchy and clever, which is very, very cool.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, it was just supposed to be for the first one, and then we were, it was going to be like each one was going to be branded differently, but it just kind of happened. And now everybody kind of knows like SSUD, at least if you're near the Hatch community, kind of like SSUD is very known. I don't know why, but it is. It kind of just stuck. But these events are something we kind of put on at the beginning when we first started, just to build the community and have people come together and people who collect hatch or love to game hatch. And it was supposed to be, it's really fun, and that's a lot of work for me now because they've kind of grown the expectation each year, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Our Florida events are usually 30-ish people or less. And then Michigan has gotten lately up to about 80 or 90 people. And it would be more, but I honestly, like, my brain can't like comprehend or like plan for that much more. So I probably need to start figuring out how to grow it a little bit better, or have, or do multiple events or 3 or 4 events each year in different areas. Cause we have a lot of people that collect on the west side of the country. And I think Vegas will help a lot of those people come to that event. And it's been awesome to kind of see the community grow and see the same people over and over again, and then new faces each time. And just, we have an awesome community. I'll just give a shout out to everybody in the Hatch community. They're awesome. I mean, obviously, if you create something and people love it, it feels great. And seeing people rally behind different launches and complimenting or critiquing, I'm very transparent, and just seeing people loving to have be involved in the process. Very early on, we shared all of our struggles, and we do still share a lot of our struggles. With like this a week or two ago, we lost a a clicker press, which is a machine in our shop, and everybody, it was just one of those things where we got to involve people and tell people what was going on, and just kind of involving the community. Wow. I'm rambling, sorry, but I was just love the Hatch community. So shout out to all of them. They're great.
That's very cool. Is this is it a scramble event, and are you capping it off to like 80 players, or is it kind of unlimited at this point in time?
That's a good question. There's a format to it, and I wouldn't say like these events are like, the competitive side. You definitely have a range of probably 30 or 40 handicappers all the way down to scratch players. It's not handicap, but it's meant to just be more fun and hang out, and just hit some fun golf shots and do different things. But I think we set up the par three, or not par three, the night course at Angel Park is going to be it's like a 3-hole scramble, 3-hole shamble, and then 3-hole individual best ball, like 3-man team. So it's kind of like the threes. And then Paiute was going to be a 9-hole scramble, 9-hole shamble. I could just look at my thing I just wrote, but I can't recall it.
A shamble would be so cool. We got to do one of those.
Shambles are fun.
Yeah,
do you know what a shamble is? Worst ball.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
No, shamble is best ball off the tee, but then you all play your ball. You can play the next shot from there, unless I'm totally mistaken.
I thought shamble was. I might be wrong. I thought it was you all play, and then whoever has the worst ball, you play that ball.
There's probably a name for that, but I don't know if it's shamble.
I always thought it was a shamble because now your team is in shambles.
You could be right. I'd have to look it up.
I'm not good at like the naming side of things, so we're probably both kind of right, but I'm probably wrong. It's not my event.
Yeah, it's either one or the other, because you either hit the worst ball or the best ball off the tee. So,
and to me, a shamble sounds like you should play it
kind of fun though,
like the worst ball, because then you'd be stuck with me over there in the weeds or behind.
Yeah, there would be nobody in the fairway. Like, what kind of golf tournament is this?
Nobody's hiding.
That would be plenty of players at SSUD. So,
yeah. So is there a big people sign up? I'll check the website here, but as far as like signing up, I'm assuming you're gonna get. Is it individual sign up, or do you sign up as a team? And then what's like included? It's like a cover and some swag, or
yeah, it drops like a regular head cover on our site, so it kind of available at a specific time. I think we did 3:30 on Sunday. It'll just pop up on the new releases section of the website or the event section, and we are factoring, I don't know what to expect, honestly, number wise, since it's a new time of year, it's a brand new location. So like the thing that happened with Michigan was that you had so many people from Michigan that wanted to come. Like we grew there, Hatch started there. So it was just naturally easy for people to just show up and drive there. And then Florida, people vacationed in Florida in January. That's just what they do. So this is a little bit different. So I don't know what to expect, but we're hoping between 50 and 75 guys. Could be more, it could be less. I really have no clue. And then did you ask another question? I don't remember if you did.
What's that?
I didn't know if you asked another question.
Oh, no, but it's not on the website. Yeah, that's what you were saying, but because I saw it on Instagram, but I didn't see it on the website as far as the events. But it's in February, correct?
Yeah, it's February 21st and 22nd. You can see how good I am at selling my own stuff. I hate promoting my own stuff. Sorry. So people ask me like, what I do. I sell golf stuff, So what's included is you got 9 holes at Angel Park. You've got dinner provided. We're doing like a welcome night with a bunch of raffles and prizes. And then the second day is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fully catered meal from the course at Paiute, and then 18 holes. And then everybody always gets a goodie bag at all these events. We usually typically reach out to Jones Sports to do something. We've done like shoe bags, we've done backpacks. This past event, we did duffel bags. We don't typically say what that's going to be because it always varies. Like I just can't be the one to like put it in a plastic bag and be like, here's your gift. So I always feel like that's usually where I end up going way over budget is like, I got to put it in something cool. Yeah, obviously event only head cover. We do a really cool either acrylic or leather bag tag. We do this year, we're going to do, since it's in February, we're going to do a hoodie instead of a polo. Golf balls, tees,
We need to
stickers.
go out there and play in this. It'd be fun.
You just want the hoodie.
No, I'm just kidding. I love Vegas. I'm there for.
I just love hoodies.
You can be sure that everything will be like Vegas themed too. We have a lot of really unique things that we've already been working on, and you'll probably get like a poker chip and just to
be free in February.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool to try to make it work. Are you planning on being out there for a few days, like with the event? I mean, I guess my question would be, is there anything like planned, like post event, or is it more or less like once the event's over, just see you guys later kind of a deal? Or
like usually a lot of the guys do plan stuff. I typically am like, I always refer to it as like a wedding. It's your wedding. Like you don't remember it. I feel like you don't remember, like you're talking to everybody. You're just constantly
it's
like,
kind of a blur almost in a sense.
Yeah. So for me, like all the events, this will be my 7th one. And I don't remember eating or drinking or doing anything at any of the events. The last one, I hired a milkshake truck at 6, and I told someone, I'm like, I'm eating a freaking milkshake, so give me one. And I remember taking like 2 minutes and just sucking that thing down because I was like, I'm not leaving here without a freaking milkshake. So that was about all I remember. But usually like I'm big on trying to get something really unique for food. This is a little bit different. Florida has always been different because the courses that we play there are very specific to, your food and beverage. They want you to order what they want you to order.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of leeway. But in Michigan, we had the opportunity to hire food trucks. So we had we've done dessert trucks, we've done rolling stoves. Shout out to them. Amazing smash burgers in Michigan. We did a food truck called Holy Cluck. They did like fried chicken sandwiches and all kinds of stuff. I mean, we've had some awesome stuff in Michigan. So
sounds like you go all out, which
I try, man. I really want people to have an awesome experience. And then the biggest thing is I've asked people what differentiates us from other people that do these types of events, and it's usually the shop experience. Like if you come to an SSUD, you're going to get something no matter where you fall in line of the shop, something that you won't get anywhere on the site, like ever. It's always one-offs, prototypes, custom sets, all kinds of unique stuff that we spend months kind of preparing just for this one day.
That's amazing.
Really fun. Yeah. I mean, you go in, I mean, I'm going to try to recap some of these previous SSUDs and show people like some of the cover sets that we've made for them, but they're usually really different. You're never going to we try to do stuff like that all the time. Yep. Right. It's just one of those things where we get to be really creative with what we put out.
That's exciting. Yeah. I'll have to check my calendar. That'd be sweet to come out there.
I just want to see the strippers. It's in Vegas.
Gosh, you can see those right down the street if you want.
I go Deja Vu, get a hot dog.
What is the most? Actually, I'll ask a different question. So you started this company. What's one piece of advice you would give to someone or entrepreneur that would be looking to start a business in the golf space?
I kind of like, if I go back and track everything that we've kind of like where we've come from, I feel like the community has been the biggest aspect, having people that are genuinely invested in what you guys are doing. So, and the only way to do that is to grow it kind of grassroots where you're starting it, but you're including people in that starting process. People love I wouldn't say the struggle, but it's like they love to see behind the scenes. And when we first started, we didn't have a clue what we were making. It took us a month to get the first cover we ever launched like out of the door, and we were super transparent with everything that was going on. And I think people really connected with us on that. And then we just were able to develop those relationships further and further as we kind of had community events and created cool products. Yeah, I mean, the community is like the biggest part of it, because if we didn't have anybody that bought the product, then we wouldn't have a company.
Sure.
So all the customers make Hatch, what it is. I don't know what else to say.
Good answer. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, we really do try to, like I said, I try to, because I handle most of the social media and Facebook stuff, as I try to, uh, I don't know if every company does this, but I feel like if you want to personally message me, you're going to be able to. People have my Facebook account and they message me quite often. So my wife's not a fan of it. And
it's a lot of work, a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're messaging on Facebook or Instagram, you're getting me, not a social media manager, which I don't know how long I'll be able to do that. I know eventually, because it's getting to that point, like after a drop where it might be 30, 40, 50 messages that all require kind of a personal response. But
sure, that's a lot of work.
My favorite is when people message the podcast and they're like, Derek. I'm like, oh, you're in for a treat.
He's not here.
No, because I feel like you and I respond to things incredibly differently.
Yeah.
You're a little bit more, hi, thanks for the message. And I'm just like, this is not Derek.
Brett, I was gonna have him on with me, but we're just kind of separated right now. And he's my right-hand man. He's my brother-in-law. He moved down here from Michigan with me.
Oh, cool.
Left his old job of 17 years to come work for Hatch. Before we knew if it was going to ever do anything successfully, so kind of a leap of faith on his part to trust me to make it work. And I'm sure that first month or two when we did not think it was going to work.
Sure. I'm sure it's been a grind. That's for sure.
He is he's an excellent worker, excellent guy. He has helped also build the community, and he does a lot of the messaging as well. I see him on his phone, so he's
doing something.
He's doing something, because I always see him. I always hear he's all in all these different group chats, and he's working the magic, I guess you could say, with different customers. And he's got a personal touch with a lot of the guys as well. And it's just kind of been a family thing. So if you go to the event or see a video recap, you'll see my wife or his wife or his sister is also hugely involved, Kim. And she's kind of helped design the trailer that you'll eventually see that we bought for these events. And she kind of is like, I called her my exhibit, from Pimp My Ride. So she's like,
I love that.
She's totally like killing that design and the layout in the space. So I'm really excited to show that off.
I just pictured like a Pimp My Ride, but it's like his head cover. So you're gonna have a Hatch head cover with like subwoofers and like a little TV in it.
There you go. Yeah,
putting green in there and everything.
No, just like a TV
rolls out off the back of the trailer, like a big long putting green.
Oh no, I'm picturing just like a little head cover you can buy. Maybe it's how you put your phone in and watch like you shank every drive or something. I don't know.
There's that.
There's videos of me shanking everything.
You can get crazy with head covers. Scotty Cameron patented. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. They have a divot tool. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
The original one, like the main one.
It's got like the 2-prong. Yeah. It looks. I can't really describe it, but they got a patent, because when I was searching head covers, they've got one for like a head cover that you can put that in. And I always thought that was interesting.
Oh, I would lose it. I'd lose that divot tool so quick.
We really appreciate your time. We won't take much more of your time, but we do ask a couple rapid fire questions. I didn't come up with a whole lot, so we'll just kind of come up with a few off the top if I remember some. But the first one would be, what putter cover is in your bag right now?
Is your bag all like Hatch, or do you have like stuff from other companies that you really like?
I definitely don't have anything from any other company. So
well, I don't know.
I mean, I don't, not that I don't like any other companies. I got a swag. I've got a Sugar Skull, which sounds funny because there's a Sugar Skull brand, but I've got the Sugar Skull Alter Ego on my bag with
sweet
glitter.
How often do you rotate?
Usually like maybe 2 or 3 times a year, not that often.
Okay, so not very often.
Could be more, but I don't golf as much anymore.
that was gonna be one of my questions on this that I just come off the top is a lot of the people that we interview that are in the golf space, they think, oh, I'm gonna golf all the time, and it's like
That's
the exact
exactly
opposite, right? It's like they golf way less than what they really anticipated.
Yeah, I used to golf when I designed 3 or 4 times a week. Now it's like 3 or 4 times a year.
Got to get out there more. I know, but I hear you. Dom, this is kind of our famous question here, so I'll let you ask that one.
So, actually, hole one your event. What would your walk-up song be?
Oh gosh. I'm not good with music. This is a brat question. Oh my god.
It's okay, we won't judge you regardless. Or at least
I'm like blanking. I'm trying to think of like
which genre?
probably like rock music from my hockey days, but I can't think of like I'll just say the "We Will Rock You" song. I have no clue.
There we go. Or like "Highway to Hell" by AC/DC.
There you go.
Yeah, that's funny. I'd have to. I had never been asked that. I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's one that we like to ask because some people are like they've already like have the song they already know, and then some people are like, because even myself, sometimes Dom will throw me for a loop and he'll be like, "What's your walk-up song?" And I'm like, "Shit, we're asking you, we're asking the guest here, not me." So
yeah, I'm trying to think like the soundtracks I feel like I listen to most outside of like, yeah, it would be probably Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, something from that. But I wouldn't. If you try to like have me name an artist or a song, no clue.
No clue. Okay. Well, we don't. I said I was gonna. Oh, I know. I was gonna ask you. What's your favorite golf course that you've played, and what would be besides like Augusta? If you haven't played Augusta, like what would be like your bucket list golf course that you would love to play?
Best course I've ever played would probably be. It's tough. I got two. One would be in Michigan. It's Forest Dunes.
I've played there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful course.
It's awesome. What'd you think about the red and black loop? The loop.
I played the loop and I liked it. I don't think I liked it as much as Forest Dunes itself, but it's so unique that I feel like everybody should go try it. But like I feel like it's a different type of beauty because then I played Poipu Bay in Hawaii, and that was just like next level, just gorgeous in every aspect. So sure. I honestly, if I'm going off of that, it's probably Poipu, but I did love like that northern kind of upper.
It's Michigan. Like a playground for adults up there.
Yeah, it's amazing. I would love to hold an event there. Yeah,
so I think the coolest part of that, to be honest with me, was the bootlegger, the little par 3 course. That's
I don't know when I played it last.
Okay, so yeah, it's basically like a little par 3 that's just right off the pro shop, and so you basically play barefoot, and it's anywhere from like 60 to like 100 yards. So you basically just bring 3 or 4 clubs, and they have music going throughout the whole 9 holes. It's just the vibe is really cool. That was probably like my favorite part of the experience, to be honest. But
that is really cool. Top course I wish I could play. I'd have to say Augusta. I think it just on TV, and everybody says on TV it doesn't even do it justice. And I'm like, how could that possibly be? Because I was at East Lake not too long ago, and people said it has kind of that same
vibe to it.
Yeah, vibe, because like it's just that pine straw and short Bermuda and everything. And man, that would be. I've just haven't won the lottery, so I haven't even been able to go. I've never even been to the Masters.
Well, if you do, hit us up. We'd love to join you.
Yeah, say.
Yeah, right back at you. Yeah. Dom, you can go ahead and end this as well. One last question. It's a food related question.
Well, so this year I learned that I've been doing the lottery for the Masters wrong.
What?
How'd you do? What were we doing wrong?
I thought they would email you like the response. I never realized you had to like log in and go to like the Masters like account to find out.
They email me.
Yeah. I don't get emails from them, period. I had to like log in to find out that I wasn't drawn.
I will say that normally they do email me, but this past year they didn't email me either.
I don't think I've ever been emailed back saying, "Hey, you loser."
Idiot.
What if you never got an email before? Maybe you won one year and you never even.
Yeah, that's my fear. That's my fear. It's like, what if I've won and I've
2019?
I've used all the good juju.
I would be so. I wouldn't even be able to live myself.
I know. Okay, yeah. Related question. We'll wrap this up.
So we're not too far from you. We're over here in Minnesota. I say that like we're like neighbors. We're not. There's the really shitty state in between us.
Yeah. Golf courses, it's not, but everything else, yeah.
Yeah. They have good cheese, but we don't talk about that state in between.
No.
We're over in your neck in the woods. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Walk us through where we're going.
Oh boy, you're gonna hate my answers. I am not a foodie.
Oh boy.
It's okay. We love food.
You talking about Michigan? Or you talking about Tennessee?
Wherever one. We were thinking Michigan but if you're wherever.
I mean, I'll go to Tennessee.
Okay, if we're going to Michigan, breakfast we're going to Joni's. That's a local spot in Brighton. They have cinnamon roll French toast. It's to die for. Super good.
They like the really obnoxiously big cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, and you can take like 4 bites and feel like you're gonna take a nap. So
count me in.
Phenomenal. Oh, lunch. Gosh, see, this is where my wife and I were boring. And we have kids, so we find what works for them, and then we replicate it each week. My wife and I, and this is gonna sound, I mean, it's not gonna sound terrible, but like I have a lot of foodie friends, and they're like, "You like that place?" I'm like, "I love it." Cheesecake Factory. I'm sorry, I love it. I don't know why. It has horrible reviews usually. You're like,
does it? I'm not one to like read reviews because it's like I've said it all the time and everybody hates me for it. I love Taco Bell.
Taco Bell's great.
No, not according to people online. It's not.
I think people just like to find a negative. Like, it doesn't matter.
I'm literally
a 5-star restaurant and it's not 5 stars because there's always.
I literally have the app open for Taco Bell. I'm ordering it and grabbing it on my way home.
If I'm getting fast food Mexican, I'm getting Qdoba. That's I guess it's like fast casual though, right?
Yeah, I think
there's no drive-through.
Say it's because it doesn't have a drive-through. Even now, like Chipotle has a drive-through.
Do you know I'm getting Chipotle by my house?
No, I haven't had Chipotle in. I'm actually proud of myself. I haven't had it in like over a month. I love Chipotle.
Congratulations.
That's like
Thank you.
That's like your sacred place.
It is. I know. I'm cold now for a while.
That sucks.
All right. So dinner. What are we doing? Smoothies?
Yeah. Sorry. I guess I'd probably do Qdoba for lunch. That's my favorite like Mexican fast food. It's terrible. Like this is like I can't think of anything spot like local. Oh, you know what? I take that back. There's a spot in Brighton because I've been missing it ever since we moved. It's called El Arbol. It's Mexican as well, and it is really good. It's phenomenal. So I will say that, and then Cheesecake Factory for dinner. And we're getting the spicy chipotle pasta every time. I've gotten it like I've probably had it 200, 300 times. So
it's always good.
Same thing. My wife and I, we are creatures of comfort. We are homebodies. So if we venture out here, people laugh because we go to Blaze Pizza every time.
Blaze Pizza is pretty good though.
Never been there.
Great, it's great, and it's consistent, and the kids
like a Chipotle.
Is it better than Punch?
No, I wouldn't say it's better than Punch. But have you had Punch pizza before?
I don't think so. I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's really you need to venture out a little bit and go to Punch.
It's really good. But Blaze Pizza though is it's convenient because they have a lot of options and it's like a glorified Chipotle for pizza.
But you'll go there, but Chipotle.
They don't have I haven't been to Blaze in a couple of years.
There's like one right down the road.
Yeah.
It's a make your own
closed.
That should say a lot.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Oh, I just said, is Punch like a make your own pizza then?
No, it's not.
Punch, it's like authentic Neapolitan pizza. They cook it in this big ceramic oven. It's like 600 degrees for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh my God, is it good? You get the big bubbles in the crust. And
it's like one of those where it's like once you're done eating it doesn't feel like super heavy. It's not super greasy.
We'll normally pair with like a salad and like their focaccia bread.
Yeah.
It's really is it Minnesota only?
No,
I think it's a national. It's like a chain.
Yeah.
Oh,
otherwise, it'd be a great reason.
Come take a little.
Look, I don't think there is any here. I was just complaining to someone that there's no hockey in Murfreesboro, so I'm like 30 minutes outside Nashville, and I'm like, there's 200,000 people in the city, and they don't have a hockey rink. Like, what the hell?
I would say they have the Predators. Why don't they have a?
They got a ton like around Nashville, just none around this area.
Interesting.
It's annoying because I got to drive 30 minutes to go play, and I'm like, down the street.
You know, if you move to Minnesota, we have one like every quarter mile.
Man. That was the same in Michigan. Trust me, I missed that.
That's fair.
No doubt. Yeah. So
it's been a blast, man. Well, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean.
I was going to say the weather has its trade-offs here for sure because golf is open pretty much year-round here. Even though I don't play anymore, but
it is here too. You just go to a simulator.
True, they have those here, which is surprising. I'm like, who plays there?
For those 3 days it snows, they gotta have something to do.
Yeah, once it hits below 50 degrees, they gotta.
I'm super.
Man, it's been a pleasure, man. Nice to meet you, and hopefully we can meet you at one of these events coming up.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys even having me on, talking nerdy head cover stuff and all types of golf.
That's great, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Take care.
Yeah.